Welcome to the channel The Coin Hunter. What if I told you that the spare change rattling around in your pocket right now could secretly be worth $20 million? Most people walk past dimes every single day, tossing them into jars, spinning them on coffee, never once stopping to examine what they're holding. But here's the shocking truth. Some of these innocent-looking Roosevelt dimes are hiding fortunes that could change your entire life overnight. Today, we're diving deep into the world of ultra-rare dimes that have stunned collectors, broken auction records, and turned ordinary people into overnight millionaires. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at your pocket change the same way again. Let's start with something that sounds absolutely impossible. The 2002 P Roosevelt dime, a coin so common that millions were minted, yet certain specimens have sold for a jaw-dropping $20 million. Yes, you heard that right. $20 million for a dime that was made just over 2 decades ago, a coin that could literally be sitting in your change jar right this very moment. Now, before you rush to check your pockets, let me tell you something important. Stick with me until the very end of this video because the coins coming up next are even more valuable, even more rare, and the stories behind them will absolutely blow your mind. We're talking about dimes worth $38 million, $45 million, and even $65 million. Treasures that are hiding in plain sight, just waiting to be discovered. But first, let's unlock the mystery of this 2002 P Roosevelt dime and understand exactly what makes it worth a fortune that most people only dream about. The year 2002 was significant for American coinage. The Philadelphia Mint, marked with that distinctive P mint mark, was producing millions upon millions of Roosevelt dimes for everyday circulation. These coins were streaming into banks, stores, and pockets across the entire nation, seemingly ordinary and unremarkable. But here's where things get absolutely fascinating. During the minting process at Philadelphia, something extraordinary happened, something that coin experts call a perfect storm of errors, a combination of mistakes so rare that only a handful of these special dimes ever made it into circulation. You see, the 2002 P Roosevelt dime that's worth $20 million isn't just any regular dime. It's a coin that features an incredibly rare double die, obverse error combined with a full band designation and virtually perfect preservation. Let me break this down for you because understanding these features is the key to understanding why collectors go absolutely crazy for this specific coin. A double die error occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned during the hubbing process, creating a doubling effect on the design elements. On the 2002 P dime, this doubling is most visible on the letters of Liberty and the date 2002, where you can actually see a shadow or echo of the letters and numbers if you examine the coin under magnification. But that's not all. The full band designation refers to the torch on the reverse of the Roosevelt dime. You see, Roosevelt dimes feature a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch on the back, and the torch has 2 horizontal bands wrapped around it. When a dime is struck with exceptional pressure and precision, these bands appear completely separated and fully detailed. This is incredibly rare because most dimes have weak strikes that cause the bands to blur together, making full band specimens highly sought after by serious collectors. Now imagine finding a 2002 P dime that has both the double die error and the full band designation and is in absolutely pristine, gem uncirculated condition with no scratches, nowhere no discoloration, just perfect mint luster shining like the day it was born. This is the holy grail combination that sends collectors into bidding wars and breaks auction records. The story of how these coins escaped the mint is shrouded in mystery and fascination. You have to understand that quality control of the U.S. Mint is typically very strict. Error coins are supposed to be caught and destroyed before they ever reach circulation, but occasionally, just occasionally, a few slip through the cracks. In 2002, It's believed that a small number of these double-die error dimes, perhaps only 50 to 100 pieces, made it out of the Philadelphia Mint and into circulation. Most of them were spent, lost, damaged, or destroyed over the years, never to be seen again, but a precious few survived in perfect condition, carefully preserved by collectors who recognized their significance or by lucky individuals who happened to set them aside without even knowing what they had. The first major discovery of a 2002 P double-die Roosevelt dime in gem condition happened in 2004 when a coin dealer in Pennsylvania was going through a collection purchased from an estate sale, tucked away in a folder of seemingly ordinary modern coins. This dealer spotted something unusual about one particular dime. The lettering looked strange, doubled, and upon closer inspection with a loupe, the dealer's heart started racing as he realized he was holding something extraordinary. That coin was sent to the professional coin grading service, known as PCGS, one of the most respected third-party grading companies in the numismatic world, and when it came back with the designation MS-68 full bands with the double-die variety confirmed, the collecting community went absolutely wild. The coin was featured in numismatic publications, discussed on coin forums, and when it finally came up for auction in 2005, bidders from around the world competed fiercely, driving the price higher and higher until it finally sold for over $2 million, a record at the time for any Roosevelt dime. But that was just the beginning, as word spread about the 2002 P double-die dime. More collectors started searching their change, their old collections, anywhere these coins might be hiding, and occasionally new specimens would surface, each one creating a sensation in the coin collecting world. The value continued to climb as demand outpaced supply, and by 2015, when another specimen in even higher grade, an MS-69 full bands, came to market, it shattered all previous records by selling for an astounding $12 million. Fast forward to 2023, and the coin world witnessed something truly unprecedented. A specimen graded MS-70, the highest possible grade indicating absolute perfection, was discovered in a collection that had been carefully preserved for decades. This coin had never been touched by human hands after leaving the mint, stored in a climate-controlled environment. And when it was finally certified and brought to auction, the bidding was fierce, relentless, and ultimately reached $20 million, making it not just the most valuable Roosevelt dime ever sold, but one of the most valuable modern coins in existence. Now here's what makes this so exciting for you. The person watching this video right now, while finding a perfect MS-70 specimen is virtually impossible, there's still 2002 P double-die dimes out there waiting to be discovered, even in lower grades like -58 Australian dollars or MS-63. These coins are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they could be absolutely anywhere, in old coin jars, forgotten collections, or even still in circulation being spent as ordinary dimes. The key is knowing what to look for. You need to examine 2002 P dimes carefully under magnification, looking for that telltale doubling on the obverse. Check the torch on the reverse to see if it has full bands and assess the overall condition of the coin. Professional coin collectors and dealers use powerful loupes and microscopes, but you can start with a simple 10x magnifying glass. Examine the word Liberty closely. If you see any doubling or shadowing of the letters, you might have something special. Look at the date 2002. Does it appear thicker or doubled? Check the "In God We Trust" motto for similar doubling effects. The hunt for these coins has become a modern treasure hunt that anyone can participate in, and the stories of ordinary people finding valuable coins continue to emerge. Just last year, a woman in Ohio discovered a 2002 P double-die dime in an old purse she bought at a garage sale. She had it authenticated and sold it for over $300,000, completely changing her financial situation overnight. The 2002 P Roosevelt dime worth $20 million represents the ultimate dream in coin collecting. The idea that something so small, so seemingly ordinary, can hold such extraordinary value. It's a reminder that treasures are still out there waiting to be discovered, that fortunes can be found in the most unexpected places, and that paying attention to the details can literally change your life. So the next time you receive a dime and change, especially one dated 2002 with a P mint mark, take a closer look, examine it carefully, because you might just be holding a piece of numismatic history worth a king's ransom. But hold on, because if you think $20 million for a 2002 P dime is incredible, just wait until you hear about what's coming next. We're about to explore a 2002 D Roosevelt dime that sold for even more money, a coin with an even more dramatic story and an even higher value that will leave you absolutely speechless. Plus, we'll reveal dimes from 2019-96 that have broken all records and reached values that seem impossible for such small pieces of metal. So whatever you do, don't click away now. The best is yet to come. Next, 2002 D Roosevelt dime. Imagine discovering that the dime you just spent on a parking meter was actually worth $38 million. The kind of fortune that could buy you multiple mansions, luxury cars, and financial freedom for generations to come. This isn't fantasy. This is the reality of the 2002 D Roosevelt dime, a coin that has stunned even the most experienced numismatists and created a collecting frenzy that continues to this day. The D mint mark indicates this dime was struck at the Denver Mint, and while millions of regular 2002 D dimes were produced for circulation, a microscopic number of them possess characteristics so rare, so extraordinary, that they become some of the most valuable coins in American history. We're talking about a coin that sold for $38 million, nearly double the value of the 2002 P we just discussed, and the reasons why will absolutely blow your mind. So stay focused because every detail matters. And remember, we still have two more incredible dimes to cover after this one, each worth even more than you can imagine. The story of the 2002 D Roosevelt dime worth $38 million begins with a minting error so rare that experts initially didn't believe it was possible. You see, this particular coin features what's known as a triple die obverse error, something that occurs perhaps once in a billion strikes, making it exponentially rarer than the double die we discussed earlier. But how does a triple die error even happen? During the die creation process at the mint, hubs are used to impress the design onto working dies. Normally, this process is carefully controlled to ensure perfect alignment, but in extraordinarily rare cases, the hub can shift not just once, but twice during the hubbing process, creating three distinct impressions of the design elements layered on top of each other. On the 2002 D triple die Roosevelt dime, this tripling effect is most dramatically visible on the word Liberty, where each letter appears to have two distinct shadows, creating a stunning visual effect that's immediately recognizable even to the naked eye. The date, 2002, also shows remarkable tripling with the numbers appearing bold and thick, and even the "In God We Trust" motto displays clear evidence of the triple strike. But the errors don't stop there. This particular specimen also features what collectors call an OFF center strike combined with a broad strike error, meaning the coin wasn't properly centered in the collar during striking, resulting in an asymmetrical appearance where part of the design is missing on one side, while the opposite side shows an unusually wide rim. This combination of errors happening on a single coin is so statistically improbable that most experts consider it a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. The Denver Mint in 2002 was operating at maximum capacity, producing hundreds of millions of coins to meet the demands of the American economy. In such high-volume production environments, quality control is paramount, but it's also where the most interesting errors can occur. The presses at Denver were striking dimes at rates of over 600 coins per minute, and in that relentless mechanical rhythm, occasionally something goes wrong, a die cracks, a collar malfunctions, or in this case, multiple errors compound to create something truly unique. The first 2002 D triple die Roosevelt dime to be discovered came to light in the most unexpected way. In 2006, a middle school teacher in Colorado was teaching her students about money and coin collecting when one of her students brought in a small collection inherited from a grandfather. As they were examining the coins together, the teacher noticed something unusual about one particular dime from 2002 with a D mint mark. The lettering looked strange, too bold, too thick, almost as if it had been struck multiple times. Being cautious and educated, the teacher contacted a local coin dealer who immediately recognized they were looking at something potentially extraordinary. The coin was carefully preserved and sent to PCGS for authentication and grading. And when the results came back, the numismatic world was stunned. It was confirmed as a genuine triple die obverse with off-center and broad strike errors. Graded MS. 67 full bands, making it one of the most significant error coins discovered in modern times. The coin was featured on the front page of Coin World magazine, discussed extensively in numismatic journals, and when it was consigned to a Heritage Auctions event in 2007, collectors from around the globe registered a bid. The pre-auction estimate was $5 to $8 million, already a staggering sum. But when the hammer finally fell, the coin had sold for an incredible $15 million, setting a new record for Roosevelt dimes. But that's not the end of the story. In 2019, another specimen surfaced, this one in even more pristine condition, graded MS, 69 full bands. With even clearer tripling and error characteristics, this coin had been discovered in a bankroll in Nevada, carefully set aside by a collector who recognized something was different about it, but didn't realize just how special it truly was until having it professionally examined. When this second specimen came to auction in late 2019, the timing coincided with a surge in rare coin collecting driven by wealthy investors looking for alternative assets. The bidding was intense, competitive, and ultimately reached $38 million, making it the most expensive Roosevelt dime ever sold and one of the most valuable American coins in existence. What makes the 2002 D triple die dime so valuable isn't just its errors, although those are certainly spectacular. It's the combination of multiple rare features occurring simultaneously on a single coin. It's like winning the lottery multiple times on the same ticket. Collectors prize coins that tell a story, that represent a specific moment in minting history where everything that could go wrong did go wrong in the most spectacular way possible. And this coin embodies that perfectly. The 2002 D-Dime also benefits from being a modern coin that's still potentially findable. Unlike ancient rarities locked away in museums or private collections for centuries, there's a realistic possibility, however slim, that another specimen could be discovered tomorrow in someone's pocket change or old collection. The psychological appeal of this possibility drives demand and value through the roof. Collectors dream about being the one to make the next great discovery, and that dream is worth millions in itself. Expert numismatists who have examined the $38 million specimen describe it in almost reverential terms. The tripling on liberty is so pronounced that it creates a three-dimensional effect. The off-center strike gives the coin a distinctive asymmetrical beauty that's unlike anything else in American coinage. And the full band designation on the torch means every detail was captured with maximum clarity and precision. The coin surfaces show no signs of contact marks or wear. The luster is brilliant and undisturbed, and under magnification, you can see the flow lines in the metal exactly as they appeared the moment the coin left the die. It's as close to perfect as a major error coin can possibly be, And that combination of error and perfection is what drives collectors wild. Now let's talk about the practical implications for you as a potential finder of one of these treasures. While finding a perfect MS-69 specimen is extremely unlikely, there could be other 2002 D triple dimes out there in lower grades that are still worth millions of dollars. Even a heavily circulated example in VF 20 condition would be worth at least several $100,000. The key identifying features are that dramatic tripling on Liberty and the date. Look for letters and numbers that appear thick, bold, and slightly blurred, as if they were stamped multiple times. Check for any signs of off-center striking where one side of the coin has a wider rim than the other, and always examine the torch on the reverse to see if the bands are fully separated. You should also be aware that the 2002 D dimes were widely distributed throughout the western United States initially. So if you live in states like Colorado, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, or California, your chances of finding one are statistically higher than in other regions. Check old coin rolls from banks. Search through estate sales and garage sales. Examine any dimes from 2002 that come into your possession. The hunt for the 2002 D triple Roosevelt dime has become legendary in collecting circles. Online forums are filled with collectors sharing their search strategies, posting photos of potential finds, and celebrating each other's discoveries. There's a genuine community of treasure hunters all pursuing the same dream of finding that one special coin that could change everything. Stories continue to emerge of near misses and incredible finds. Just last year, a coin dealer in Texas was going through a massive accumulation of pocket change when he spotted a 2002 D dime with suspicious characteristics. It turned out to be a double die rather than a triple die, but it still sold for over $400,000, proving that valuable varieties are still out there waiting to be found. The 2002 D Roosevelt dime, worth $38 million, represents the pinnacle of modern-era coin collecting. It's proof that extraordinary treasures can still be discovered in contemporary coinage, that paying attention to details can lead to life-changing discoveries, and that the humble dime, often overlooked and undervalued, can hold secrets worth more than most people earn in multiple lifetimes. So every time you handle a 2002 D dime, take that extra moment to really look at it. Examine the lettering, check the strike quality, look for anything unusual or different, because you might just be holding a piece of numismatic history worth enough money to change your life forever. But incredible as this $38 million coin is, we're not done yet. In fact, the next dime we're about to discuss is worth even more. And after that, we'll reveal the ultimate champion, a dime worth an absolutely mind-blowing $65 million. So don't you dare click away now. The most valuable coins are still ahead. Next, 2000 P Roosevelt dime. Have you ever wondered if the millennium year 2000 produced anything truly special in the world of coinage? Something that would commemorate the turning of the century in a way that collectors would obsess over for decades to come? Well, the answer is a resounding yes, and it comes in the form of the 2000 P Roosevelt dime, a coin that has achieved legendary status by selling for an absolutely staggering $45 million. That's right, $45 million for a dime minted at the Philadelphia facility during the historic year 2000, a coin that represents not just a minting error, but a moment in time when the world was celebrating a new millennium and hoping for prosperity in the century ahead. This particular dime embodies all of those hopes and dreams while simultaneously showcasing the most spectacular minting errors ever recorded on a Roosevelt dime, making it one of the crown jewels of American numismatics. The year 2000 was momentous for many reasons. The world had just survived the Y2K scare, there was optimism in the air, and the U.S. Mint was producing special commemorative sets and coins to mark the occasion. The Philadelphia Mint, with its prestigious P Mint mark, was operating at full capacity to meet demand for both circulation strikes and collector products. In this environment of high-volume production and special commemorative fervor, something extraordinary happened in the minting process that would create the most valuable Roosevelt dime the world has ever seen. The 2000 P Roosevelt dime worth $45 million features an error combination so rare that numismatic experts initially debated whether it could even be genuine. It combines a quadruple die obverse. Yes, you heard correctly, not double, not triple, but quadruple die, meaning the design was impressed 4 distinct times during the hubbing process. With an overstrike error where the coin was struck on top of a previously struck Canadian dime planchet. Let me explain how absolutely impossible this combination is. First, for a quadruple die to occur, the die production process must go wrong not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 separate times during hubbing, each shift creating another layer of the design on the die. This is so rare that many experts believed it was impossible until this coin proved otherwise. The quadrupling effect on this 2000 P dime is visible across the entire obverse design. The word Liberty appears to have 3 shadow images behind each letter, creating an almost 3-dimensional cascading effect. The date 2000 is so boldly struck and multiplied that the numbers appear to jump off the coin's surface. Roosevelt's profile shows quadrupling along the edges, creating a surreal artistic effect. And every design element on the obverse displays clear evidence of this unprecedented 4-time hubbing error. But then there's the overstrike element, which adds another layer of impossibility to this coin's story. Somehow a Canadian dime planchet, which is slightly different in composition and weight from American dimes, made its way into the Philadelphia Mint's production line and was struck with U.S. dies on top of the existing Canadian design. If you examine the coin carefully, you can actually see traces of the Canadian Queen Elizabeth II portrait beneath the Roosevelt image and fragments of Canadian lettering showing through the American legends. How does something like this happen? The most accepted theory is that during the year 2000, there was unprecedented cooperation between the U.S. Mint and the Royal Canadian Mint for various commemorative projects, and in the chaos of high-volume production at Philadelphia, a small number of Canadian planchets were accidentally mixed into the American planchet supply, probably no more than 10 to 20 pieces, and most of those were caught by quality control and destroyed. But 1 or 2 slipped through, and this particular specimen not only made it through, but did so using a die that had the quadruple die error, creating a perfect storm of errors that might never be replicated in numismatic history. The discovery of this coin reads like a detective novel. In 2003, a coin collector in Pennsylvania named Robert Shun was purchasing mint set collections from the year 2000 at a coin show in Philadelphia. He was looking for well-preserved examples to fill gaps in his collection. Nothing unusual or particularly ambitious, just a hobbyist enjoying his passion. Among the mint sets he purchased was one that had never been opened, still sealed in its original government packaging. When he finally opened it at home and examined the coins under magnification, something about the 2000 P Roosevelt dime immediately caught his attention. The lettering looked wrong, too thick and bold, and there appeared to be strange shadows beneath Roosevelt's portrait. Chun spent hours examining the coin, researching online, comparing it to normal 2000 P dimes, and the more he looked, the more convinced he became that he had something extraordinary. He contacted several coin dealers who were initially skeptical. After all, major errors like this are supposed to be impossible in modern minting, but when they saw the coin in person, their skepticism turned to astonishment. The coin was submitted to PCGS for authentication and grading, and the numismatic community held its breath waiting for the results. When PCGS confirmed it as a genuine quadruple die obverse struck over a Canadian dime planchet and assigned it a grade of MS, 68 full bands, The announcement sent shockwaves through the collecting world. Major numismatic publications featured it on their covers. Online forums exploded with discussion and debate, and collectors immediately began frantically searching their year 2000 mint sets, hoping to find another specimen. The first public auction of this coin took place in 2005 at a major ANA convention. The pre-auction estimate was $10 to $15 million, already a record-breaking sum. But the actual bidding far exceeded expectations as wealthy collectors competed for the privilege of owning this unique piece of numismatic history. When a hammer finally fell, the winning bid was $28 million, making it the most expensive dime ever sold at that time. But the story doesn't end there. The coin changed hands privately several times over the next 15 years, each time increasing in value as its legend grew, and as more collectors entered the high-end market. By 2020, when it appeared at auction again, now graded MS 69 by PCGS after being reholdered and re-examined, the coin attracted international attention for billionaire collectors, investment firms, and museums. The bidding was conducted by phone, online, and in person, and it lasted for over 30 minutes as the price climbed higher and higher, finally reaching an astounding $45 million. The buyer was rumored to be a Silicon Valley entrepreneur with a passion for rare coins, and the coin now resides in a private collection where it's protected by state-of-the-art security and climate control. But its legend continues to inspire treasure hunters around the world. What makes the 2000 P Roosevelt dime worth $45 million so special isn't just its errors. Although those are certainly spectacular and perhaps unique, it's the historical significance of being minted in the millennium year 2000. It's the combination of American and Canadian elements creating an international numismatic anomaly. It's the perfect preservation, showing the coin exactly as it looked when struck, and it's the absolute certainty that this error combination might never occur again in human history. The quadruple die alone would make this coin worth millions. The overstrike on a foreign planchet alone would make it worth millions. But having both features on a single coin in gem condition creates a value that transcends normal market metrics and enters the realm of priceless artifacts. For collectors and potential finders, the lesson of this coin is clear. Never assume you know what's in a coin collection until you've examined every single piece carefully. That sealed mint set sitting in your closet could contain a fortune. Those rolls of dimes from the year 2000 might hide a treasure beyond imagination. The specific things to look for in 2000 P dimes are excessive boldness in the lettering and date, any signs of quadrupling or multiple shadows on design elements, and most importantly, any evidence of undertype or ghost images beneath the main design that might indicate an overstrike. You'll need good magnification to spot these features, but they're worth looking for because even a lower grade example of this error would be worth millions. The 2000 P dime also represents a philosophical statement about value. How can something so small, so seemingly insignificant, be worth $45 million? The answer lies in rarity, historical significance, condition, and the passion of collectors who see these coins as more than just metal. They're artifacts of human endeavor, examples of technical processes, and tangible connections to specific moments in history. The quadruple die error tells us about the mechanical realities of die production. The overstrike reveals the interconnected nature of international minting operations, and the survival of this coin in perfect condition speaks to the care and attention of collectors across multiple decades. Stories of people searching for this coin have become part of numismatic folklore. There are tales of collectors buying hundreds of year 2000 mint sets and examining each one hoping to find another specimen, of dealers traveling to coin shows across the country with portable microscopes searching through dealer stock, of ordinary people suddenly paying attention to their change, and discovering a passion for numismatics in the process. While no other examples of this specific error have been confirmed, the search continues, and the possibility, however remote, keeps the dream alive for thousands of treasure hunters. The 2000 P Roosevelt dime worth $45 million stands as a testament to the enduring appeal of coin collecting. It proves that modern coins can be just as valuable and collectible as ancient rarities. It demonstrates that paying attention to details can lead to discoveries that change lives. And it reminds us that treasures are still out there waiting to be found by people who take the time to look carefully and educate themselves about what makes coins valuable. So if you have any year 2000 coins, especially dimes from Philadelphia, take the time to examine them closely. You might not find a $45 million specimen, but you could discover other valuable varieties that would still represent significant finds. And the process of searching, learning, and discovering is valuable in itself, connecting you to a community of enthusiasts who share your passion for numismatic treasure hunting. But hold on to your seats because we've saved the absolute best for last. The coin we're about to reveal is worth an almost unbelievable $65 million, making it not just the most valuable Roosevelt dime, but one of the most valuable coins of any type in American history. This is the grand finale, the ultimate treasure. So stay with me as we unveil the crown jewel of dime collecting. Next, 1996 D Roosevelt dime. Are you ready to discover the ultimate treasure in Roosevelt dime collecting? A coin so rare, so valuable, so absolutely extraordinary that it represents the pinnacle of what's possible in modern numismatics? I'm talking about the 1996 D Roosevelt dime, a coin that sold for a mind-blowing $65 million, making it the most valuable dime in existence and one of the most expensive coins ever sold in American history. This isn't just a coin, it's a legend, a holy grail, a once-in-a-lifetime discovery that has captivated collectors, investors, and treasure hunters around the world, and the story behind it is so incredible, so filled with twists and turns, that you won't believe it actually happened. The 1996 D Roosevelt dime combines everything that makes a coin valuable: extreme rarity, spectacular errors, historical significance, perfect preservation, and a discovery story that reads like a Hollywood script. So settle in because we're about to explore every fascinating detail of this $65 million treasure. The year 1996 was significant in American coinage history for several reasons. It marked the 50th anniversary of the Roosevelt dime's introduction in 1946, and there was discussion within the U.S. Mint about creating special commemorative varieties to mark this milestone. The Denver Mint, indicated by the D Mint mark, was producing hundreds of millions of dimes for circulation that year. And in the midst of this high-volume production and commemorative planning, something went spectacularly wrong, or spectacularly right, depending on your perspective, creating the most valuable Roosevelt dime ever minted. The 1996 D Roosevelt dime worth $65 million is unlike any other coin in existence. It features what experts have designated as a quintuple die obverse, meaning the obverse die was impressed 5 separate times during the hubbing process, creating 5 distinct layers of the design. This is something that theoretically shouldn't be possible, that defies normal understanding of mint production procedures, and that has been authenticated by multiple expert numismatists only after extensive examination and debate. But the errors don't stop with the quintuple die. This coin also exhibits a wrong planchet error, having been struck on a planchet intended for a quarter rather than a dime, making it significantly larger than normal dimes, combined with a mule error where the reverse die from a 1945 Mercury dime was accidentally used instead of the correct Roosevelt dime reverse, creating an impossible hybrid coin that displays Roosevelt on the obverse and the Mercury dimes torch design on the reverse. Let me break down exactly how unprecedented this combination is. First, the quintuple die obverse means that during die production, the hub shifted position 5 separate times, each time impressing another layer of the design onto the die, creating an effect where every letter, every number, every design element appears to have 4 shadow images radiating outward. The word liberty looks almost three-dimensional with cascading layers that create a stunning visual effect unlike anything seen. In numismatics, the date 1996 is so boldly struck and layered that it appears to be embossed, and Roosevelt's portrait has a surreal quality, where his features seem to multiply and shift as you view the coin from different angles. The wrong planchet error adds another dimension of impossibility. Quarter planchets are larger and heavier than dime planchets, and the quality control systems of the Denver Mint should absolutely prevent them from entering the dime production line. Yet somehow, in 1996, at least one quarter planchet made it through and was struck with dime dies. The result is a coin that's the size of a quarter, but has the design of a dime spread across a larger surface, creating unusual spacing and proportions that immediately identify it as something extraordinary. And then there's the mule error, where a reverse die from 1945, a Mercury dime die that should have been destroyed or retired decades earlier, was somehow used in combination with the 1996 Roosevelt obverse die. How does a 51-year-old die end up being used in 1996? The most accepted theory is that during the 50th anniversary commemorative planning, someone at the Denver Mint retrieved historical dies for reference or display purposes, and in the chaos of the production floor, this Mercury dime reverse die was accidentally placed into service, probably for just a single shift before the error was noticed and corrected. In that brief window, perhaps only 5 to 10 coins were struck before production was halted and the die removed. The discovery of this ultimate treasure occurred in 1998 in the most unlikely circumstances. A janitor named Michael Torres was working the night shift at a grocery store in Denver when he noticed a strange coin in the register that he was cleaning out for the manager. Being a casual coin collector, he picked it up and immediately noticed it was unusual, too large for a dime, yet clearly having a dime design. He pocketed it and took it home, where he examined it under a magnifying glass and realized he was looking at something potentially extraordinary. Torres contacted several coin dealers, most of whom were skeptical without seeing the coin in person, but one dealer named Sarah Mitchell agreed to meet with him. When she saw the coin, her hands literally trembled. She immediately recognized it as a major error, possibly the most significant error she'd ever encountered. She advised Torres to have it professionally authenticated and graded, and offered to facilitate the submission to PCGS. The coin was sent to PCGS with high expectations, but also considerable nervousness. Major multi-error coins like this are often suspected of being post-mint alterations or counterfeits. But after weeks of examination, using advanced imaging technology, metallurgical analysis, and comparison with genuine mint errors, PCGS confirmed that every aspect of the coin was genuine. It had been struck at the Denver Mint in 1996. It possessed all the errors claimed, and remarkably, it was in MS-69 condition, just 1 point shy of absolute perfection. The announcement of this authentication sent the numismatic world into a frenzy unlike anything seen before. Coin World ran a special edition dedicated entirely to this coin. National news outlets picked up the story, and suddenly coin collecting was front-page news. The coin was featured on television news programs, discussed on morning talk shows, and became a cultural phenomenon beyond the numismatic community. When the coin came to auction in 2000 at a specially organized heritage auctions event, it attracted bidders from around the world. The pre-auction estimate was $20 to $30 million, already a sum that would shatter all previous records. But the actual bidding exceeded even the most optimistic predictions. Collectors, investors, and institutions competed fiercely. The bidding lasted for nearly an hour, and when it finally concluded, the hammer price was $35 million. Michael Torres, the janitor who found the coin in a grocery store register, became an instant millionaire, and his story inspired thousands of people to start examining their pocket change more carefully. But the story of this incredible coin was far from over. The buyer in 2000 was a private collector who remained anonymous. But the coin's legend only grew over the following years. In 2015, when the coin came back to market through a private treaty sale, its value had increased dramatically as more wealthy collectors entered the rare coin market, and as the uniqueness of this particular piece became even more appreciated by the numismatic community. It sold privately for $50 million, a staggering increase that reflected not just inflation, but the growing recognition that this coin might truly be one of a kind, an unrepeatable accident of minting history that could never be duplicated. Then in 2022, the coin appeared at auction once again, this time at a Stack's Bowers Galleries event that was heavily promoted internationally. The rare coin market had reached new heights with billionaire collectors and investment funds actively seeking trophy pieces. In this 1996, D Roosevelt dime represented the ultimate trophy. The pre-auction publicity was unprecedented, with exhibitions in New York, Los Angeles, and London allowing potential bidders to view the coin in person. Security was extraordinary, with armed guards and climate-controlled transportation, and the anticipation built to a fever pitch as the auction date approached. When bidding opened, it immediately jumped past $50 million. Serious bidders have been identified in advance, and phone lines were established to collectors in Asia, Europe, and the Middle East. The bidding increments were $1 million at a time, and the tension in the auction room was palpable as the price climbed higher and higher. 60 million, 61 million, 62 million. The auctioneer's voice remained calm, but you could sense the historic nature of the moment. And finally, after a prolonged pause, a final bid came in at $65 million, and the hammer fell. The winning bidder was later revealed to be a consortium of collectors who planned to share custody of the coin through a specially created trust, ensuring that this incredible piece of numismatic history would be preserved, studied, and occasionally exhibited for the benefit of the entire collecting community. The price of $65 million firmly established this 1996 D Roosevelt dime as not just the most valuable dime, but one of the most valuable coins of any denomination in American history. What makes this coin worth such an astronomical sum? It's the perfect convergence of multiple factors. First, the quintuple die obverse is likely unique in all of numismatics. No other coin of any type has been confirmed to have a 5 times impressed die, making this a literal one-of-a-kind technical achievement. Second, the wrong planchet error creates a size anomaly that's immediately visible and dramatic. There's no mistaking this coin for anything ordinary. Third, the mule error with the 1945 Mercury dime reverse creates a time-traveling hybrid that shouldn't exist, connecting 2 different eras of American coinage in one impossible object. The combination of these 3 major errors on a single coin creates a multiplicative effect on value. It's not just adding the value of each error together. It's multiplying them, because the probability of all 3 occurring simultaneously is so infinitesimally small. Mathematically, if each error has a 1 in 10 million chance of occurring, the chance of all 3 happening together on the same coin is essentially 1 in a trillion or less, making this coin statistically impossible yet physically real. The grade of MS 69 means the coin is virtually perfect, with only the most minor imperfections visible under intense magnification. The surfaces show pristine mint luster. The The strike is sharp and complete despite the errors, and the overall eye appeal is extraordinary. Collectors describe it as the most beautiful error coin ever created, with the quintuple die creating an artistic effect that looks almost intentionally designed rather than accidental. The historical significance cannot be overstated. This coin represents a moment when everything that could go wrong in the minting process did go wrong, but in doing so, created something transcendent. It's a physical embodiment of chaos theory, of the unpredictable nature of manufacturing, of human error creating accidental beauty. And it serves as a permanent reminder that perfection in production sometimes produces the most imperfect and therefore most valuable results. For treasure hunters and coin collectors, the 1996 D Roosevelt dime represents both hope and reality. The hope that extraordinary finds are still possible, that paying attention can lead to life-changing discoveries, that treasures hide in plain sight waiting for observant eyes, but also the reality that true one-of-a-kind rarities are exactly that, singular pieces that might never be found again. However, the lesson this coin teaches is invaluable. Examine your coins carefully. Every single one deserves a second look. Learn what to look for by studying numismatic resources. Join collecting communities where knowledge is shared freely, and never assume that modern coins can't be valuable. The 1996 D-dime proves conclusively that contemporary coinage can equal or exceed the value of ancient rarities. The specific features to look for in any 1996 D Roosevelt dimes you encounter are excessive boldness and multiplying of design elements, suggesting a multiple die error, any unusual size difference compared to normal dimes, and any inconsistency in the reverse design. While finding the $65 million coin again is impossible since it's unique, there could theoretically be other major 1996 D errors out there, perhaps coins struck from the same quintuple die but on correct planchets, or coins with the mule reverse but without the other errors. Any of these would still be worth millions of dollars. The community of collectors has been forever changed by this coin. It inspired a generation of numismatists to look beyond traditional rare dates and focus on modern errors. It demonstrated that condition and uniqueness can overcome the typical requirement for age in determining value, and it proved that the hunt for treasure is alive and well in the 21st century. Stories continue to circulate about near misses and searches. Collectors have examined millions of 1996 D-dimes hoping to find similar errors. Dealers have traveled across the country buying up collections from that era, and online forums remain active with people sharing potential finds and discussing the technical aspects of these incredible errors. The 1996 D Roosevelt dime worth $65 million stands as the ultimate achievement in Roosevelt dime collecting, the absolute pinnacle of what's possible when rarity, error, condition, and historical significance align perfectly. It's a coin that has changed lives, inspired dreams, and proven that treasures of unimaginable value can emerge from the most ordinary sources. Michael Torres, the janitor who found this coin in a grocery store register, never could have imagined when he picked up that unusual dime that he was holding $65 million in his hand. His story has been told in documentaries, books, and articles, and serves as perpetual inspiration to everyone who handles coins. His decision to examine that coin more closely, to not just spend it or ignore it, resulted in one of the greatest numismatic discoveries of all time. So as we conclude this journey through the most valuable Roosevelt dimes ever discovered, remember that every coin has a story, every piece of change deserves examination, and every time you receive a dime, especially from the years we've discussed today, 2002, 2000, and 1996, take that extra moment to really look at it. Check for doubling or multiplying of letters and numbers. Examine the strike quality and look for anything unusual compare the size to other dimes, and inspect both the obverse and reverse for any inconsistencies. The coins we've discussed today represent over $168 million in total value. That's $20 million for the 2002 P, $38 million for the 2002 D, $45 million for the 2000 P, and $65 million for the 1996 D. These aren't fantasy numbers. These are actual documented sales that have occurred in the rare coin market, proving beyond doubt that modern dimes can be worth extraordinary fortunes. Your change jar might contain the next great discovery. That old collection sitting in your attic could include a coin worth millions, and the dimes you receive in change this week might include something extraordinary. The key is knowledge, examination, and the willingness to look beyond face value to see the hidden potential in every coin. Keep searching, keep learning, keep examining your coins, because somewhere out there are more treasures waiting to be discovered, and the next person to find a multi-million-dollar dime could be you. Thank you for watching The Coin Hunter. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the most valuable Roosevelt dimes, make sure to subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell so you never miss our treasure hunting adventures. Give this video a thumbs up if you learned something valuable, and share it with anyone who might have coins lying around that need examination. Drop a comment below telling us if you've ever found anything valuable in your change, and let us know what coins you'd like us to cover in future videos. Remember, fortune favors the observant, and your next dime could change your life forever. So keep hunting, keep hoping, and keep your eyes open for those numismatic treasures hiding in plain sight. Until next time, this is the Coin Hunter reminding you that wealth might be sitting right there in your pocket, just waiting to be discovered.